Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're here representing Enactus, Ohio University. I'm Derek Tittle, and I'm the president of the organization.
I'm Dylan Rhines, and I'm the project manager for Produce Patrol.
And today we're going to talk about one of our projects, Project Produce Patrol. But before we go into that, we'll have Dylan let you guys get a better understanding of Southeast Ohio.
Athens County is one of the most food insecure counties in Ohio, with 1 in every 5 people suffering from a lack of nutrition. To go along with this, 33% of residents live in poverty. Between these two factors, food insecurity runs rampant in a county like Athens. Food insecurity can be devastating to one's overall health and can cause children to underperform in school and activities. Without proper nutrition, one's body and mind are unable to function at their best. That's why we created Produce Patrol, a project focused on bringing produce to those who need it most. Produce Patrol is a mobile food market focused on making inexpensive produce available to those who are food insecure. Produce Patrol is a mobile food market, so it helps eliminate the problem of food insecure residents not having enough transportation to local produce. Also, Produce Patrol teams up with local distributors in order to provide produce at a cheaper price. Produce Patrol has teamed up with local nonprofit Rural Action in an attempt to bring these mobile produce markets to life and provide food insecure residents with the nutrients they need to live a long and healthy life. One of the main factors contributing to food insecurity is a lack of transportation of produce. Many of us can agree that a 25 to 30-minute ride to the local grocery is not ideal. It would probably discourage us from often making the trip. We surveyed residents from multiple Southeast Ohio counties to see what their average commute time to the nearest grocery was. We plan to use this information as a way to plan out where our produce markets will set up, as residents with a 20-plus minute drive to the nearest produce are at risk of becoming food insecure. Multiple factors can contribute to a resident becoming food insecure, but sometimes residents are food insecure simply because they're not interested in consuming a healthy amount of produce. When it's the same people who answered the commute time survey if they'd be interested in a new fresh produce option. Over half of the residents surveyed said yes. By continuing to collect survey results, we are gaining more knowledge on our market and starting to identify counties with more of a need for produce than others.
And like Dylan mentioned, we are partnering with a key stakeholder in our community, Rural Action. And they contribute to food insecurity um, in two ways. So the first way is through their country fresh stops. And you can see in the bottom right picture, these are locations spread throughout Southeast Ohio where Rural Action distributes fresh produce to convenience stores that can't otherwise afford to carry fresh produce. And the other initiative that Rural Action has is their Chester Hill Produce Auction. And this is an auction held in Southeast Ohio um, that brings together local businesses and consumers and provides bulk produce at below market prices to um, allow for the greatest amount of access to fresh produce. Um, but with COVID-19, this partnership has been relatively limited. But we have found a few ways to continue working on this project. The first of these is by creating an online food map. You can see through this screenshot of the map, the little green dots. Those are grocery stores that carry fresh produce, and this will be a great resource for community members and businesses alike because it shows where there is current access to fresh produce. What this also points out is that there are gaps to access of fresh produce. So it just further demonstrates the need for an increase in access to healthier foods. Um, the other big thing that we're doing during COVID-19 is um, increasing the number of survey results that we have. Um, right now, we're at 31 survey results. We have 15 zip codes, and the average commute time is 18 minutes. And while that might not seem like a lot, like Dylan mentioned before, Athens County is the most impoverished county in Southeast Ohio. So getting access to transportation in it by itself is or can be an issue, and let alone 18 minutes. That just makes it an even more difficult task for many community members. But we've already touched on this a little bit, but to reiterate, our next steps are to increase those number of survey results. And we're going to do that by joining different Facebook groups that community members are in and posting the survey in there. And that's how we've gotten the 31 results up to this point. And so we think by joining more of those Facebook groups in different counties, we'll have a better representation of the opinions of all of Southeast Ohio. And then from those results, we'll be able to continue working with Rural Action to plan out a test market so that once things are relatively back to normal, we can get out into our community and start providing fresh produce where it's needed. And then after that test market, we plan to use that as a learning experience. And with that, we'll evaluate the business model and how this test market went. And then we'll expand our efforts into new areas of the community based on those results. But with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening to our presentation, and we're looking forward to the Q&A session. Thanks.